This is better than most. I don't feel nothing here. Oh, wow. Elena took the turn, so that makes it wider than most, so compact than most.
What's up, y'all? So we received what might be the best, I would say, moped style e-bike as of 2026. I say that because this has a 1500 watt motor, advertised to go like 33 miles. But me and my brother and fellow e-bike connoisseur Tayo, we're gonna test that out. It has a 52 volt, 25 amp hour battery, advertised to go like 65 miles to charge. 25 amp hour is usually like 60 miles to charge, so I believe it, but we're gonna test that out too. Usually I cannot use moped style e-bikes because a lot of times you can't adjust the seat. And I'm 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on.
Oh, this is a moped?
I think so. But my brother usually like moped style e-bikes, right?
Sometimes.
You don't like them as much as you used to?
Not as much as I used to.
What happened? You got spoiled by the...
We done rode so many.
This company says that this e-bike, you can be up to 6'5" and use this e-bike.
Bruh.
So this bike is called the AKEZ, AKEZ Jaguar. It weighs 83 pounds. Maximum weight of the rider is 330 pounds. To purchase this e-bike, feel free to use my link and my code in the description below to get a discount. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unbox this. We're gonna put the bike together, go through all the features and stuff like that, and see, is this the best, I would say, budget moped style e-bike that we reviewed as of 2026. Also, I am still doing an e-bike giveaway. You wanna be included in the giveaway, you have to be subscribed to the channel. Comment below what type of e-bike you like. A moped style e-bike like this one, a more full-size e-bike, or maybe like a folding bike. Comment below, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll be sending one of y'all an e-bike. Oh, no, street tires. So this is what the bike looks like fresh out the box. I don't think it was wrapped really well. I mean, I guess well enough, but it was a lot of stuff that was just loose in the box. This bike did come with a few boxes. All right. It's like we have our beefy headlight. I've never had that headlight on an e-bike before. That's the new one. The battery came in a box by itself, but that battery looks pretty standard. I think I've had a battery like that on a few other e-bikes. Where's the toolbox? It didn't come with a toolbox? Hold on, this is it? We're gonna have to put our front wheel on, and that is an Aerosol 20x4, I would say like a street tire, and I've had this on the e-bike before, and they're pretty durable, and it's pretty grippy for a street tire. We did have another box that had our display in it. Look at the suspension on that thing, and that's our rear light, which looks like it has turning signals. So instead of putting stuff on the box, they just attached it to the bike. So it looks like that is a fancy combination style. That's a bike lock. I think it comes with a key. Yeah, the keys are right there. Oh, and it has some footrests. So I guess this seat might be so long where you can ride with a passenger. And I guess these are our tools. All right. Also attached to the bike, we have, what is that? Turning signals on the front of the bike too, already attached there. This is what the bike looks like. Fresh out the wrapping. It doesn't look like anything was damaged. First thing we're gonna do is put our 20x4 Aerosol wheel on. Didn't see any instructions, so I'm assuming that the instructions are on their YouTube channel. We're gonna use our own wrenches and stuff. I do like how much stuff is already installed on this bike. Even the headlight clamp already installed, so all right. We're not gonna go ahead and put our handlebar on. Look like we do have to align the handlebar stem. So we're gonna use this and these screws here to make sure it's loose enough for us to turn it. And then after we have a good alignment, we're gonna tighten up this screw and these here. So we got the bike put together. It took us about, I would say, 25 minutes. And this is pretty large for a moped style e-bike. It's about 5 feet 8 inches from wheel to wheel here. The handlebar, which is not adjustable, unfortunately, is about 3 feet 3 inches from the floor. And the seat that kind of goes up a little bit is about 2 feet 8 inches from the floor. So again, I've had these Aerosun tires on a e-bike before, and they are pretty grippy. Like they do have a considerable amount of grip on them, even though they're not really all-terrain tires. They're more like street tires. Because of the grip and because, from my experience, they're pretty durable, we're going to go ahead and do our off-road test anyway. I love the design of this bike. Has a very light body frame, and I don't know, I think this might be one of the best looking moped style e-bikes that I've reviewed on the channel. But part of the reason I'm saying that is because of the color. Look at that suspension. And that is a pretty large suspension. It's about 11 inches. Never had a suspension quite like that on an e-bike before, but it is a coil suspension, which is usually my favorite because in my opinion, they give you a little bit better rebound. Give y'all a look at this rear suspension. Love the rebound. We also have suspension on the front of the bike. We have this motorcycle style front fork suspension, and you can adjust the compression of that suspension. Here, if you want to open up your suspension, then turn the knob that way. On the other side of your suspension, you have your suspension preload. If you turn this to the right, it's supposed to stiffen your suspension. If you turn it to the left, it's supposed to loosen up your suspension. I haven't noticed that made a whole lot of difference on these e-bikes. That's why I normally don't cover it, but wanted to start covering it because the commenters suggested it. And yes, I do read y'all comments. Give y'all a look at this front suspension. Get a look at our rear and front 180E Mohr's hydraulic brakes. This bike seat is definitely on the soft side. It seems like it's going to be pretty comfortable, and it has some length to it. It's about 1 feet 10.5 inches long, and it's about 6.5 inches wide. Part of the reason why the seat is so long is because you do have the option to ride with a passenger. You can remove this pretty standard battery. There's a key that come with this bike. Put the key here, then you can lift your battery out that way. The other set of keys that come with this bike is for our anti-theft key starter. So you got to put the key in here, turn it that way, and now you can turn our display on. Some basic information about our display. Look like we do have our speed calculator here. We have our battery life here at the bottom. We did fully charge the bike, but I think when we turn the bike on, there's a dim headlight that stays on. So I think that's a bad idea because I think it unnecessarily runs down your battery. But looks like this display also calculates our temperature. We have our odometer here, our trip mileage there. Now over here on our panel, if I click that button, that turns my high beams on my headlight on. So it makes the headlight even brighter. That also turns my rear light on. And that rear light is also a brake light. Now if I click this button, that turns the front turning signal on and the rear turning signal on. We have your standard Shimano 7 gear shifter. We have a full twist throttle for throttle only. I like the half twist better because if you're pedaling, sometimes your hand can do this, you know what I mean? Down here looks like you have a horn, which is moderately loud. You press and hold your plus and your minus button over here on your panel. Then the display will do this here, and it'll give you some more information, your max speed, average speed, and how long you've had the bike on for. But from here, if I click the plus button, I go into my advanced settings. And I'm not going to go through all of them. Look like we have our speed limit, and this is pretty straightforward. We normally don't get advanced settings this straightforward. So you want to change the setting, you're going to quickly click the power button. And now I can change that. Pretty sure that miles per hour maybe, but let's just, I don't know if that's miles per hour or kilometers, so I'm just going to go up to the max and see how that gets us. I'm going to quickly click the power button to save that setting and go to the next one. Looks like that is how do we want to calculate our speed. Do we want to do miles per hour or kilometers? Standby, so how many minutes before the display automatically turns off. We're going to change that from 5 minutes to, let's say 15. Brightness, how bright do we want our display? And then we're back to info, so I guess that's all the advanced settings. I'm not seeing where you can change your pedal assist sensitivity.
Give me that suspension. Man, you was going fast. Suspension 10.
AKEZ moped style e-bike. What are your thoughts?
Man, this bike has so much potential.
Oh.
Heavy on the potential. I think this is a very unique looking bike. Clearly it looks cool. The seat is comfortable. It's the moped style bike, so of course it's very good on the turns. The steel buttons here.
Oh, the steel buttons on the panel.
It's very easy to change modes and to turn it on, turn it off. Very, very easy versus like a plastic thing where it's like, you're like, did I push it? Did I not? This is a fast bike. Very, very fast bike. This is for people that like to go fast. But the reason why I say this bike has a lot of potential is because it's made bad. I was pedaling like this. My knees were hitting my elbows.
How tall are you with shoes on?
5'6". I literally have to just hit the throttle. If I don't pedal, it's great.
Okay.
And the suspension is amazing. Suspension 10 out of 10. The turns are comfortable and safe.
Okay.
The suspension is great grip. What number would I give this bike? This bike a 6.
A 6?
You just make it throttle only. Throttle only, this bike is an 8.5.
8.5, okay.
Now I know these are not necessarily like all-terrain tires, but I think they have some grip enough to test out the grip on some gravel, so damn, actually not bad. Even though these are not all-terrain tires, it's pretty grippy. All right, better than I thought actually. Let's brake here. Yeah, some slipping of course, but not bad. So I definitely think these tires are grippy enough to lean into your turns. So that mixed with the wider than most handlebar and the frame that's low to the body because it's a moped style e-bike, I think the combination of those make this like the perfect bike for leaning. I like leaning because I think it gives you more control of your turns. So yeah, I definitely feel comfortable leaning in this bike with no problem. And that's although it does not have all-terrain tires. So yeah, great bike for leaning. But lean at your own leisure. So we're not gonna go off-road with some hills, test out the tires, but mainly test out the suspension. And wow, I mean, okay, let's go up here. Wow, so far the suspension is better than most. I don't feel nothing here. Oh, wow. All right. Let's keep going here. Oh, wow. All right, yeah, the suspension is better than most. Man, I almost want to say top 5 when it comes to moped style e-bikes. It's pretty good. It's absorbing pretty much everything. I mean, I only feel a little shaking, and I don't know if the camera's doing it justice here, but This is pretty good, and the tires are actually kind of grippy on grass. Now I wouldn't, if the grass was wet, I probably wouldn't be leaning a whole lot, but it's dry now, so great job on the suspension, man. Like, let's go down here, turn around, let's go down here. Oh wow, yeah. I say on a scale from 1 to 10, I give that suspension like a 9, maybe even a 9.5. Now you can definitely tell that this is a cadence speed sensor because it just tries to get you to the maximum speed of that mode without considering how hard you pedal. And that's why I like torque sensors a little bit better than your speed cadence sensors. Now mode 1 pedal assist out the box. And again, I didn't see where you can change your pedal assist sensitivity. Let me know if y'all know how to do it. But mode 1 is okay regarding the sensitivity. I think it gives you a little too much. Looks like mode 1 taking up to 18 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and brake here. But if I switch it to mode 3 here, and I start pedaling, and I'm in the 7th gear. I'm in the 7th gear. So mode 3, it starts out okay. But once I get to like 20, I'm ghost pedaling now. Like, it's kind of hard for me to keep up with the motor. In mode 3, it looks like mode 3 takes me up to like, damn, 25 miles per hour, 26. Let's go ahead and brake. But again, I did adjust the limit speed to go up to 60 miles per hour. So I don't know if that's why it's giving me so much power while I'm barely pedaling and it's sending me flying in mode 3. So I'm 5'11". 6 feet with shoes on. I would say this bike dimension is weird for me because the pedals are just way too close to the seat for me. You know what I mean? Like my knees are coming up way too high here. I could scoot back on the bike to make it a little bit more comfortable, but this handlebar goes out like that and it's not adjustable, it goes out. So if I was to comfortably use this e-bike, I would need like a seat booster to lift me up away from the pedals, and I would also need a handlebar extender. I would need something where I can extend it up to come like that, and then maybe, you know what I mean? But throttle only, I think all I would need is a handlebar extender because that means I can scoot back on this seat and just use the throttle. So throttle only not so bad for a guy my height, but outside of the weird dimensions, I think this bike is pretty comfortable. Like the seat itself is really comfortable. Some moped style seats are too firm. This one is perfect. And it's really stable too. Like it's not a whole lot of shakiness going on with the bike. Very stable, very smooth. Although the takeoff is quick, right? But I don't know if it's so comfortable where I feel like I can ride without my hands on the handlebar. Nah, but that's mainly because of the dimensions and because my knees are coming up a little too high. So we're not gonna go max speed, throttle only. See how fast we go here? All right, we got up to 27 pretty quickly. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. All right, I would say 33 miles per hour, max speed, throttle only. Now I will say outside of the battery life, which doesn't look like it's that great, but again, I did increase the max speed, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But I think this is the perfect bike for the streets because you have street tires, nice wide handlebar, you have full suspension, all the bells and whistles, turning signals, a horn, headlight, rear light, and because it's pretty comfortable. Well, outside of the dimensions, the ride is comfortable. Like it's not very shaky, very stable. So I think it's a great bike for the streets. But I also think this is a great bike for more urban areas. And I say that because although this is kind of long for a moped style e-bike, I think it's still compact enough to hit some pretty sharp turns and compact enough to avoid people and things pretty easily on a moped style e-bike. I think that's what they make moped style e-bikes for. I think they make them more for like urban areas to be able to go from the sidewalk to the street pretty easily. So we're not gonna go max speed. And I'm gonna try my best here, but again, I have to ghost pedal quite a bit because it's way too much sensitivity. I look like I got up to 22 pretty quickly. When we get out of this turn, we're gonna try to gun it. All right, 25. Again, I'm ghost pedaling. 29. 31. 32. So we're gonna take 31 miles per hour max speed. Pedal assist, but again, I can't really give it a whole lot of push. So we're not gonna go max speed, throttle only, up a hill. This is a pretty steep hill, about a 35, 40 degree hill. We're gonna see how much speed we lose going up this hill. All right, going into the hill at 30 miles an hour. And this hill also has a turn on it, which we're going into now. We're still at 30. All right, we're in the steepest part of the hill now. 26, 25, 23, 21, 20, okay. So we lost about 9 miles per hour, which is pretty standard.
AKEZ moped style e-bike. What I like the most about this bike is the speed. I was able to go up to like 33 miles per hour. I also love the suspension. I would say top 5, if not top 3 suspension that I've used for a moped style e-bike. I love all the bells and whistles, headlight, rear light, turning signals, a horn, an anti-theft key starter, and I love the light frame for a moped style e-bike. The body is a little awkward for a guy my height because the pedals are just a little too close to the seat for me. And this handlebar goes straight out like that, and it's not adjustable. So the combination of the two means I have to really like lean over to reach the handlebar if I want to scoot all the way back on my seat. So my biggest disappointment with the bike was the battery life, which was kind of strange. So I went on like a 10-mile bike ride. Now I did spend like 3 miles going max speed pedal assist. I spent 2 miles going max speed throttle only. The rest of the time I was in like mode 1, pedal assist. And in that 10 miles, I think I used like 49, 48% of my battery. But by the time I got to 15 miles, I was at like 10%, right? But when I turned the bike off and I turned it back on, at 15 miles, I was at 61%. It went back up to 61% when I turned the bike off, turned it back on. So we're gonna say this bike is more like 30 to 40 miles of charge based on my bike ride. So all in all, on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give this bike a 6.5. But I think if we had better battery life, and if they maybe remove the pedals and just make this a throttle only bike, I would give this bike like an 8 something, because I do love all the features on this bike, especially the suspension. So comment below what you'll get this bike on a scale from 1 to 10. Any other e-bike you want me to review, also comment below. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.